It is 9:40 p.m. Somewhere in the jungle outside Elizabethville, 3 men are taken from a truck at gunpoint. Their hands are bound, their faces are swollen from days of beatings. The first man is Maurice Mpolo, former youth leader of a new nation. The second is Joseph Okito, former Senate vice president. The third man, the one they have gone to extraordinary lengths to destroy, is Patrice Lumumba, first democratically elected Prime Minister of the Republic of the Congo. He has been in office for exactly 67 days. They are shot in front of a tree, one by one. It takes 3 minutes. Belgian officers supervise. CIA cables, classified for 40 years, confirm Washington knew. Not after, before. When it's done, a Belgian police commissioner named Gerard Sout is given a different job. He dismembers the bodies with a hacksaw. He dissolves what remains in concentrated sulfuric acid. He grinds the bones. He scatters them. He later keeps one of Lumumba's teeth as a souvenir. He shows it to journalists on camera, smiling. In Washington, 3 days later, a new president named John F. Kennedy is inaugurated. He had privately said he believed Lumumba should be freed. He was told of the killing on February 13th. According to a witness in the room, his hand went to his head. "Oh no," he said. That was all. No investigation, no consequences, no file opened. Just 2 words, and then the world moved on.
His name at birth is Isayi Tasumbu Tawosa, born July 2, 1925, a village called Onalua, Belgian Congo. His father is a farmer. His world is small, deliberately kept that way. Belgium has owned the Congo since 1885. Owned, that is the correct word. King Leopold II ran the Congo as his personal property, forcing rubber quotas, severing hands from workers who fell short. By the time Lumumba is born, the worst of Leopold is over, but the architecture of humiliation remains. Everything good belongs to the Belgians, everything else belongs to the Congolese. The young man who will become Patrice Lumumba teaches himself. He reads everything: French philosophy, African history, political theory. He becomes a postal clerk in Leopoldville, one of the few positions open to educated Congolese under Belgian colonial law. He writes, he speaks, he organizes. He is, by every account, magnetically compelling. In 1958, he attends the All-African Peoples Conference in Accra, Ghana. He meets Kwame Nkrumah. He meets the idea of Pan-Africanism, the radical notion that Africa belongs to Africans. Something locks into place. He returns to the Congo and founds the Mouvement National Congolais, the MNC, the only political party in the country with support across ethnic and regional lines. He is 33 years old. He has never held public office. He is already the most dangerous man Belgium has ever met in Africa.
June 30th, 1960, Congo Independence Day. King Baudouin of Belgium gives a speech praising the Belgian colonial mission. He calls Leopold, the man who severed hands, a genius. He tells the Congolese people they have Belgium to thank for everything. Every Congolese dignitary on that stage sits in polished silence. Then Lumumba stands up. He was not supposed to speak. It was not on the program. He speaks anyway. "We are no longer your monkeys," he tells them. Not those exact words, but that is the translation history remembers. He speaks of 80 years of humiliation, of forced labor, of land stolen. He speaks directly to the Congolese people, not to the Belgians, not to the cameras. The room goes electric. In Washington, it goes cold. Within weeks, chaos erupts. The Congolese army mutinies. Belgium flies paratroopers back in without permission. The mineral-rich Katanga province secedes, backed by Belgian mining companies worth billions. Lumumba does the only thing that makes sense. He asks the United Nations for help. The UN sends troops. They refuse to move against the Belgian-backed secession. Lumumba does the only other thing available to him. He calls Moscow. One phone call, that is all it takes. In August 1960, just 67 days into his premiership, CIA Director Allen Dulles sends a cable to the agency's station chief in Leopoldville. We conclude that Lumumba's removal must be an urgent and prime objective. Urgent, prime, objective. The language of a kill order with diplomatic spacing. Eisenhower, according to declassified minutes, reportedly said he wished Lumumba would fall into a river full of crocodiles. The CIA took that as direction. They always do. In September 1960, a man arrives in Leopoldville. He calls himself Joe from Paris. He is not from Paris. He is Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, the CIA's top scientist, the same man who ran MK Ultra, the agency's illegal mind control program. Joe from Paris carries a kit. Inside, exotic biological toxins, a poison designed to produce a fatal disease indigenous to the region. Instructions: slip it into Lumumba's food, or his toothpaste, or anywhere that could not be traced back to the United States government. The station chief, Larry Devlin, takes the kit. He later testifies he could never get close enough to use it. That is his story. The kit is never found. But poison is not the only tool. Devlin has another asset already in position, closer to Lumumba than anyone, a man Lumumba considers his closest friend, a man Lumumba personally promoted to colonel and made head of the army. His name is Joseph Desiré Mobutu, 29 years old, on the CIA payroll since July. Lumumba does not know this. He never will. On September 5, 1960, Mobutu executes the coup. Parliament suspended. Lumumba removed from power. UN troops surround his residence, ostensibly for protection. They are also a cage. The CIA simultaneously runs radio broadcasts from Brazzaville, paid propaganda denouncing Lumumba. They pay newspaper editors. They rent protest crowds. They buy the story they need the world to believe. By October 10th, Lumumba is under house arrest. The CIA cables Washington with a 3-letter update. On November 27, 1960, Lumumba escapes. He slips past UN guards and Congolese soldiers in the back of a car. He is heading to Stanleyville, his political stronghold in the east, where his supporters have established a rival government. He is so close. He stops to speak to people along the road. He cannot help it. It is who he is. Even fleeing for his life, he speaks to the people. It is the thing that made him great. It is what gets him caught. On December 1st, 4 days later, Mobutu's troops find him near the Sankuru River. They beat him in front of journalists. The journalists photograph it. The photographs go around the world. The world watches. Nothing happens. He is transferred to Thisville military barracks. More beatings, near starvation. On January 14, 1961, the CIA station chief is informed that Lumumba will be transferred to Katanga, to the forces of his sworn enemy, Moise Tshombe. The CIA is informed 3 days before it happens. They do not intervene. They do not warn. They do not save him. Later, this will be called passive consent. On January 17th, Lumumba, Mpolo, and Okito land in Elizabethville. They are beaten on the tarmac. Belgian officers supervise. That night at 9:40 p.m., they are driven into the jungle. Before his final capture, Lumumba had written a letter to his wife, Pauline. It was never meant to be public. It became one of the most read documents in African history. Neither brutal assaults, nor cruel mistreatment, nor torture have ever led me to beg for mercy, for I prefer to die with my head held high, unshakable faith, and the greatest confidence in the destiny of my country. He also wrote, "History will one day have its say." He was not wrong. After Lumumba, the CIA gets exactly what it wanted. Mobutu takes full power in 1965. He renames the country Zaire. He renames himself Mobutu Sese Seko, the all-powerful warrior who goes from conquest to conquest, leaving fire in his wake. He loots the country for 32 years. Estimates suggest he steals between $4 and $15 billion. The CIA funds him throughout. He is their man. He is their creation. The Congo, one of the most mineral-rich nations on Earth, containing cobalt, coltan, gold, diamonds, uranium, remains one of the poorest countries on Earth. The infrastructure Lumumba wanted to build for his people, never built. The unified nation he imagined, fractured, war-torn, still bleeding 6 decades later. In 1975, the U.S. Senate Church Committee investigates CIA assassination plots. They find that Allen Dulles ordered Lumumba's killing as a, quote, urgent and prime objective. They find the poison, the cables, the Mobutu payments. They publish a report. Nobody goes to prison. In 2001, Belgium conducts its own parliamentary inquiry. It issues a formal apology for its role in Lumumba's death. The United States issues nothing. No apology, no acknowledgement, no moral responsibility. The full U.S. file on the assassination of Patrice Lumumba remains partially classified today. In 2022, 61 years after his murder, Belgium returns a single gold tooth. It is the only physical remnant of Patrice Lumumba that still exists. Gerard Sout, the Belgian officer who dissolved his body in acid, had kept it as a souvenir. He said this out loud, on camera. His daughter returned it to the Congolese government after Sout's death. The Congolese people received their first prime minister back in a tooth. Patrice Lumumba served as Prime Minister of the Congo for 67 days. In that time, he gave one speech that frightened the most powerful government on earth. He made one phone call that signed his death warrant. He wrote one letter that outlasted everyone who killed him. He said history would have its say. The CIA said he had to go. Belgium said it was complicated. Washington said nothing. And somewhere in Katanga, in a jungle that has long since reclaimed every trace of that night, the first elected leader of Africa's largest country was shot at 9:40 p.m., while the men who ordered it slept soundly in Washington.
If you like content like this, like, share, and subscribe. Never miss a case. Crime Untold 24/7.